welcome back to Gooner Gathering. Here is a very, very stressed Gooner Lee Meadows, joined by the very, very much poshest man in sports entertainment, Posh Bertie. Oh, mate, how are you doing?
Well, all I'm going to say is I cannot wait to discuss what happened last night between Arsenal and Bayern Munich. There is a lot to talk about and a lot of things has to be said, so I cannot wait to get down to business with you on this here channel, sir.
Let's do it to it. And for our regular viewers, yes, apologies from us. We are a little bit late. StreamYard has completely failed on us, I'm afraid, and we cannot get to YouTube live. What this will do, though, it's going to record the stream. So if this goes out on YouTube later, we'll be on demand, basically, is what I'm going to try and say to you. So if we have some of our regulars might not be with us, I don't know, but we'll do our utmost to get a quality show out with all of you guys. Let's first comment of the evening, and let's bring this up from Mollo. Oh, sorry. I got it. I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. Oh, what a fantastic comment. Hello, Mollo. Welcome. Yes, indeed. We'll get into it, of course. We're definitely not having technical difficulties at Gooner Gathering headquarters today. That is for sure. So if you are new to us over on the Twitch channel, that's twitch.tv/Gooner Gathering, please give us a follow. And thank you anyone else who might be watching us on Twitter or X at the moment. You'll just have to bear with us as best you can at the moment. So, Bertie, let's get into the starting 11, shall we? And let's talk about how Arsenal lined up. So, I wasn't totally surprised by all this, but Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, and Kivior were our backline. We'll get into all of that in a minute because I know you'll have one or two things to say. Odegaard, Jorginho, Declan Rice, Saka, Martinelli, and Kai Havertz were our starting 11. First of all, I'd like your thoughts on it, and then I'll go to the comment from Mollo.
Yeah, we'll discuss that goal when we get to it, Mollo. Yeah. So just be patient for a minute. But no, good to see you. And yeah, I do agree with you there. So the starting 11, I fully agreed with 10 of the 11. 10 of the 11 players that were in the team. The one that I was skeptical about was at left back. Now personally, I know he's just come back from injury, but I would have rather seen Tomiyasu there. I know he's a right back, but he's much more capable. He's probably the best left back we have in the squad, I think, overall. Because look, don't get me wrong, Kivior has done well at left back recently. But against Bayern Munich, I think you need someone like Tomiyasu, someone tall and composed. I just would have thought Tomiyasu would have done the better job. So that was the only issue I had with that starting 11 was at left back. Other than that, before the game anyway, the starting 11 I thought was good.
Yeah, absolutely. And with your point there, I do get what you're saying. Tomiyasu probably would be the preferable choice at left back in this situation, being that he's more experienced in the big games. I'd say Kivior, I think, has been making his way over, and he's done okay in the Premier League games. But this is the Champions League, isn't it? It's very, very different. Then you're lining up against your Brentfords and your West Hams and your Burnleys and stuff like that. This is against quality opposition. So yeah, but I do understand Arteta not wanting to absolutely throw the dice completely at the start of the play and play Tomiyasu. The other option, which I knew you probably wouldn't be very happy with, we'll get to him in a minute, would have been Zinchenko. I think your comment would be, what exactly was your comment? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Well, I can actually say it because we're not on YouTube, but I'm not going to.
I'm going to put it on YouTube later.
Okay, I want to keep my good child
Please.
image on this channel.
Thank you.
But it was something along the lines of, "Why is Zinchenko on? This is ridiculous."
Right. Okay.
And I agree. Like, I know I'm going to keep going on about him, but I thought to solidify our defense when we're 2-1 down, I thought, again, Tomiyasu should have come on for Kivior, but instead, to solidify our defense, he brings our inverted left back on.
Okay, we'll get into this because I think this could get heated and it could get fun. But before we get into too negative and cross about the whole thing, I actually felt, from what I've seen, that Arsenal actually we'll start from the positive, then we'll sort of go into what happened to Bayern, then Arsenal coming back. We're going to do it all chronologically, okay? So anyone who's in the chat and watching us on demand will know where we're going in the sequence, okay? We'll get into that as well. Yeah. We'll get into that in a bit with the Zinchenko and Jesus situation. Absolutely, we'll talk about that. I think I brought that up in the preview stream that I did the other night. I did that on 2 days ago when I spoke about Jesus and playing in pain. But we'll get into that after we've spoken about the match, if you don't mind. So I actually felt Arsenal started pretty sharpish and had some nice possession, and within 12 minutes we'd scored. It was a nice move between Saka and Ben White, and then Saka's curling effort beat Emmanuel Neuer. Your thoughts on the opening goal, please, sir?
If for those of you who think that this was just going to be a video of me hating on Bukayo Saka for some reason, no, absolutely not. What a fantastic goal from Bukayo Saka, stepping up when it mattered on the world stage, right, at home against Bayern Munich. Now, I know I saw a lot of disrespect towards Bayern Munich. Oh, they're not as good as they used to be. Oh, right. They lost to a team that was bottom of the table in the week. Doesn't matter. Champions League is a different gravy. It's a different gravy. It's a completely different competition. League form goes out the window. But as I was saying, fantastic start. 12 minutes in, we looked like we wanted to turn up, and we did. Saka, brilliant, tidy finish as well, right in the bottom corner, past Manuel Neuer, just very good. And what a way to start our first Champions League quarterfinal since 2010. What a way to start. And very good.
Yeah. Our first quarterfinal in the Champions League 14 years, and our 200th Champions League game of all time, sir. So it was a heck of a start, and it could have very easily. Yes, Posh Bertie.
Yes. Can I go to the toilet, sir? No, I'm kidding. I think I should have gone on lunch break. No. So what I was saying, Saka scored our first goal in the Champions League for the first time in many years. He scored our first goal in the Champions League quarterfinal for the first time in many years. Just thought I wanted to add that bit out there.
Thank you very much. So Saka's goal in the 12th minute could have very easily been followed up in the 15th minute. Move involving everyone's favourite German centre forward, Kai Havertz, played Ben White into the penalty area. Had he put it anywhere else, he probably would have scored, but it pretty much went straight at Manuel Neuer. we're talking about Manuel Neuer, world-class goalkeeper here. You're going to have to really work hard to beat him, I felt.
Yeah. So I have a feeling if that was one of our attackers, if that was Saka again, if that was even if that was Kai Havertz, I think it would have gone in. I reckon that could have been 2-0. And that Ben White miss was huge. I actually said myself, as soon as that happened, I thought, oh, that better not be one of the moments where we look back and go, oh, for God's sake, why didn't he score? If only. Look, I'm no disrespect to Ben White. He has scored goals for us in the past. But if only that was, one of our attackers, Martinelli, Saka, even Kai Havertz, that probably would have been 2-0. It's just a shame that it was a defensive player in that position to shoot. Because if it was someone else, it would have been 2-0. So it's one of those moments that'll those you'll look back on it and be that's those stressful moments. Definitely that.
Yeah, absolutely was. I'll say this: the time of the run that Ben made for the for that chance, he did very, very well indeed. But it's a tad unfortunate that it was a finish of a right back as opposed to a finish of a centre forward, like you mentioned. So, after a very positive start, unfortunately, there were a series of errors and mistakes that led to the equaliser from former Arsenal man Serge Gnabry, of course. So you might have seen more of this than actually was provided on the clip that I have seen. But wasn't this the moment where Raya was way out of his goal on the pass back situation? And then the and where perhaps no you could correct me because you probably saw this in real time as opposed to watching anything on a replay. Now Gabriel gave a pass to Kivior, and of course Kivior gave it away to Sane. I don't know if Gabriel could have left it to go straight to Raya or not. I'll ask you that in a minute. But then, of course, Sané got the ball on the halfway line. He got played the ball through to Tessa, I think. Played the ball behind Declan Rice, spotted the run of Serge Gnabry, and then just put it through Raya's legs. Talk us through that series of events and probably the inevitable criticism that David Raya is going to get every time our goalkeeper makes a mistake.
Look, it's justified, that Raya mistake. I think I've spent a lot of I've invested a lot of stock in David Raya. I put all my chips on the table, saying, "Look, David Raya, he's decent," and then he goes and does that. Look, I don't know why Raya. I know Arteta likes to play his inverted football, but for God's sake, Raya, he was way out of his goal, too far from his goal. Which again, when you're off your line like that, it could easily cost us. Remember against Sporting Lisbon. But then it's not just Raya that's to blame. You get Gabriel, who decides to give it to Kivior. Kivior just gives it away, almost lets it go through to Sané, and then all of a sudden we're in a big defensive pickle. We're all muddled up, and then Gnabry, almost one-on-one with Raya, almost first touch, coolly slotted it away, 1-1 against his old club, and now we're back to square one. We were doing so well when we took the lead. We actually looked. I thought obviously this was going to be a really tough game, but I was really impressed with how we were doing before we conceded. And as soon as we conceded, it was, to put it politely, a huge uphill battle. It was a silly, downright stupid goal to concede, because a mixture of errors from Raya, Gabriel, and Kivior. Just losing their heads for a minute. That's what I can say there.
Yeah, I agree with you. It wasn't just one person's mistake. It was a combined effort on a lot of players on the back line. However, they did regain their composure. I think we had a heck of a chance on the 26th minute, and this is from a corner kick that, of course, we've been very successful with on the set play situation. This is a corner from Saka that played it into the near post. I believe it was Saliba got a head onto it. Kivior slid in. Ben White had, I think, the eventual effort at goal. Any thoughts on that? Rather messy bit of play, but it could have led to a goal.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scramble, wasn't it? And but Neuer got his hands to it in time. It was a bit of the ball was bobbing all over the place. It could have been a 2-1. I thought this happened when we were 2-1 down. But I don't know. It was the corner. No, it wasn't. Okay.
Just before the
Neuer got to it in time, so just a bit of a scramble, really.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just preparing something on there. Just gonna put that. So yeah, as we were saying, so we had that chance there, and then about 3 minutes after that, so this is where the build up to the really messy and unnecessary penalty happened, and it all came out from Manuel Neuer. It was as simple as this. Neuer got the ball on the right hand, gave the ball to his defenders on the right hand side. All of a sudden, out of pretty much anywhere or nowhere, I suppose. Leroy Sané, the former Manchester City player, who was sensational during the night, I will say that much. He received the ball on the halfway line, turned, accelerated, he got tripped, and it was a penalty. It was William Saliba with the trip. Any complaints on the penalty before we talk about Kane's inevitable goal against us?
Just that Sané made our defence look like championship players. Like the way he was running all over us. Like Kivior had no chance. And really sensational player. You know, all these people saying, "Oh, we can easily beat Bayern," etc. I know. Don't get me wrong. Bayern are far from the days of when they had Ian Robben and Frank Ribery and all those players, and Lewandowski. But Leroy Sané, Gnabry, Harry Kane. You got Kingsley Coman off the bench. Thomas Muller as well, still part of the squad. Bayern have got some players that can threaten us, and Sané did that. He just ran round our defence like it was nothing, and then it was the only way to stop him, really, because I reckon if they didn't tackle him, Sané would have gone all the way, scored. It would have been 2-1, and that would have been one of the goals of the tournament. But Saliba gave away the penalty. It was the only way we could stop him, but it was really messy from our defence. We shouldn't have really got in that situation with Sané, really. All this talk I said on Saturday about, our defence is amazing, to then have Sané just run rings around us. It's frustrating. But yeah, penalty. And when one Harold Kane steps up, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
He sent Raya the wrong way. Happens to be Harry Kane's 15th goal versus Arsenal in 20 appearances. So, told you I've been doing my homework a bit, didn't I?
I think he said in a post-match interview after the game, I was researching, I was looking at Arsenal's penalty shootout against Porto. I saw that Raya doesn't get to the corner. He doesn't get to the corner as early as you think. And that's why I took the penalty there. So Raya was found out. I think he's going to have to...
No. That is Kane playing mind games, I think. So I think Raya was sensational in the shootout against Porto, and I think Kane is playing a few little bit of naughty games there. We'll get more on Harold Kane doing some naughty games in a little bit, but as I said, we'll try and put it chronologically if we can.
Yeah.
So score at 2-1. Yeah, we could have very, very much been game, set, and match and game over, really, or over on the 35th minute. Jamal Mustati.
Jamal Musiala.
Thank you very much. Look, I'm not altogether familiar with all the players. I'm sorry. Okay, my bad.
He's a really good player, by the way. He had a bit of a quiet game, I must admit, today. But apart from that, he's really,
in fact,
really good player.
But in this instance, he managed to find the aforementioned Leroy Sané, and again another long busting run from that halfway line. How well did Ben White do to get back to track him and block that effort at goal? It would have probably spelled game over, in my opinion.
In the first half, Ben White was without a doubt one of the, and here we go, wrestling reference incoming, one of the MVPs of that match. And honestly, he was very good in the first half. And that defense could not handle Leroy Sané. It was fantastic, but Ben White, though, the moment you need him, he's there, and that was absolutely vital moment for him to get there. And if he didn't get there in time, it would have been 3-1 to Bayern, and it would have been game, set, and match. It would have been game over for us, and definitely advantage Bayern Munich going into the second leg. And yeah, well done to Ben White for that. But overall, honestly, that defense could not handle Sané.
Yeah, absolutely. I will pause there just for a moment to say to anybody who's watching this on potential on a YouTube replay, if I can get it up to YouTube later on. Unfortunately, we've had technical issues this evening. That's why the banner here for twitch.tv/Gooner Gathering is up. Anyone who's watching us on the X on Twitter at the moment, please switch over if you can to Twitch just to help us out a little bit. If we can up our average viewership on there, we can take the channel a little bit further. That'll be a big thank you from me.